With 3 shows left, including today's left in the season, we're happy you're taking 10 minutes for CNN 10. I'm Carl Azus at the CNN Center. In the United States, the country with the most violent weather in the world, there have been more than 500 reports of tornadoes in the last 30 days. That's only happened 4 times before. The National Weather Service received more than 50 tornado reports on Monday and Tuesday alone. While several states west of the Rocky Mountains recently saw colder than average conditions, much of America east of the Rockies has seen severe storms, flooding, and a scorching heat wave. There's been a lot of damage in the Midwest. Parts of Ohio are cleaning up after damaging storms and tornadoes swept through early this week. Homes have been destroyed, schools have been damaged. More than 70,000 people in Ohio had no electricity as of yesterday morning, and more heavy storms with the possibility of tornadoes and large hail were in the forecast. Soaking rain was expected in Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois. South of those states, parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma have been struggling for days with flooding. The city government of North Little Rock, Arkansas says the rising Arkansas River is one problem. The fact that the city's storm water drains to that river and could become blocked from doing that is another. One state west, severe weather in Oklahoma has been blamed for the deaths of 9 people since late April. And the governor says things could still get worse there. For the time being, the threat of dangerous storms isn't expected to let up in many parts of America. But there are some things you can do to protect yourself if your area is under the threat of a tornado.
Severe weather is on the way. So what do you do when the warning gets issued? If you're at home, get to your basement, cellar, or safe room if you have it. If you don't, get to the lowest level of your home. From there, find an interior room with no windows, such as a bathroom, a closet, or a long interior hallway. Corners tend to attract debris, so try to huddle in the center of the room. Now that you're in the safest part of your house, focus on your body. Grab a blanket, a helmet, or even a pillow to place over your head and neck, just in case debris comes crashing down on you. If that's not an option, get under a sturdy piece of furniture like a heavy desk or a table. Remember, the key is to stay low to the ground and to get as far away from windows as possible. You also don't want to be caught off guard. If you see that severe weather is forecast for your area, prepare ahead of time. Start by getting together a go bag. This could be a duffel bag, backpack, any large bag will work. Put things inside like flashlights, medications, bottles of water, and a sturdy pair of shoes, just in case you end up having to walk over glass or debris. Also, put important paperwork inside of a Ziploc bag so it stays dry.
There is a significant risk of tornadoes.
The day severe weather is forecast, try to keep all your devices charged just in case you end up losing power. If you live in a mobile home, get out. You are safer in your vehicle than you are in a mobile home. Make plans ahead of time to stay with a family member or friend that lives in a non-mobile home. If that's not an option, you can head to a library or a police or fire station.
We're returning to Mount Everest today for more information about an unusually deadly climbing season that has killed at least 11 people so far. The deaths aren't all because of a single event like an avalanche. Overcrowding, inexperience, bad weather, and bad decision-making have all been named as reasons why so many have died. It's true that the nation of Nepal issued a record number of climbing permits this year, but its government says it was only 9 more permits than it gave out in 2017. Still, each foreign climber is required to have a Sherpa guide, and bad weather left them with only a 5-day window when they could try to reach the top, so that worsened the traffic jam. Everest summit is 29,029 feet high. Most people can only stay minutes at that altitude without extra oxygen supplies. That's why the area near it is called the death zone.
We have just arrived to Everest Base Camp, and I have to say, even at this altitude, even without being anywhere near to the summit, you really feel the impact of the decreased oxygen levels. The scenery here is absolutely spectacular. You really understand what the draw and heel is. That's the ice fall that is so famous. It's what the climbers first have to go through to get to Camp 1, and then of course as they move on up through the different camps and the different stops, trying to reach what is the one main goal that unites everybody here. And normally, this entire area at the peak of the season is covered in tents. What you have right now behind me is just a few tents that have been left. There are cleanup crews. There's still a handful of climbers that are down there, some of the last ones to come down from the summit on what has been an especially devastating hiking season for the summit of Everest because of the level of fatalities and because of the issues that arose from all of this backlog that took place, the photographs of the long lines of people waiting inside the death zone, called that because the levels of oxygen there are so low. Every breath you take in the death zone only gives you a third of the oxygen that you would get at sea level. So you have to be climbing with oxygen tanks. And so these long waiting hours may have contributed to the deaths that we did see, at least to most of them. And a lot of these climbers aren't dying on the way up. You can make it to that goal. You can make it to the summit. So when you come back down, that's when people's bodies tend to succumb to altitude sickness. A lot of debate right now as to whether or not Nepal needs to be doing more to regulate the number of permits, to regulate who goes up, what level of experience they have. There's been a lot of criticism about inexperienced climbers going up, but there's also a burden of responsibility on the individual. Yes, this is such a challenge. It is such a goal that is really going to push you mentally and physically to the limit. But all of the climbers we're talking to are saying you really need to know how to listen to your body. And just being here right now, one really feels the effect of the lower levels of oxygen.
10-second trivia. Which of these international organizations was founded the most recently? International Committee of the Red Cross, International Telecommunication Union, Interpol, or League of Nations? Interpol, an international police agency, is the youngest organization on this list. It was founded in 1923. If a self-driving car brings a package to your driveway, it's apparently too hard for some people to go out to the driveway to get it. So the Ford Motor Company is testing this. The robot is called Digit. After packages are driven the last mile, Digit carries them the last 10 feet. And they say it can get around objects, though it may have to step on the grass to do it. Get off my lawn. How many human jobs will Digit replace? Does it work in the rain? What happens if a dog attacks it? What if Digit falls and can't get up? The questions are all relevant. Can Digit weather elements? Maybe he's someone's vision, but did they envision that he'd have to make decisions with precision if he's artificially intelligent? He's just a machine after all. He can't get up after a fall. He has a mission and ambition, but if under bad conditions Digit undergoes a fission, it may take a good technician or maybe a good magician to mend him up if he ends up upended by a downfall. I'm Carl Azus for CNN.